So let us talk about the joins in SQL. So let's start with the inner join. Now let's say that we have got two tables. The first table is a student table which has got student ID and student name, and the second table is a courses table which has got course ID, course name, and the student ID. Now the important thing to notice here is that student ID is one column which is common in both the tables. So you can see student ID present in courses table, and we can also see the same student ID is present in the students column. So what really happens when we apply the inner join? So we have got two tables. What is the common column between these two tables? The common column is student ID column. Now from the student ID column in the two tables, only the common rows will be reflected in the output. So what are the common rows which are present in both the tables? So we can see that student table has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the courses table has got 1, 2 and 3. So 1, 2 and 3, these are the three common rows between the two tables. So when we apply inner join, we will be only able to see those three rows which are common. So let us do this practically. So the syntax for this would be something like this: select star from the table is student table. So I'll just mention a student. Then we need to use the join. So I'll be mentioning inner join. On which table we want to apply this inner join? So we want to apply this on courses table. So I'll just mention that courses. Now based on which two columns we want to apply inner join? So we want to apply it based on the student ID column. Student underscore ID is equal to, what is the name of the second table? Courses dot student underscore ID. So based on this student ID column, I am applying this inner join on both the tables, student table as well as courses table. In this particular case, it doesn't matter which table you are mentioning first. You can mention courses table here, you can mention student table here. It will not affect the output in case of inner join, because ultimately what we'll be getting, we'll be getting only the common rows. So let us run this and see what is the output. So as we expected, we are getting only the common rows, that is row 1, 2, 3, student ID 1, 2, 3, only we are getting as a output. And now let's just say that I don't want all these columns, I just want two columns. The two columns that I want is student name and the course name. So what I'll do, I'll just mention, I'll remove the star and mention student underscore name, comma, course underscore name. So course underscore name. If I run this, instead of all the columns, I'll be getting only the two columns. So I'll run this, and as expected, we are getting only the two columns which I expected. Again, if I remove this, I'll get all the columns. Okay. Again, if I remove this, I'll get all the columns. So let's get back to that. Now the next join that we want to talk about is the left join. So I will quickly tell you what happens in case of left join. Let's just say that left table is student table and the right table is the courses table. So in case of left join, what happens is all the rows from the left table will be fetched and only the common ones from the right table will be fetched. On the left hand side, we are going to put the students table. So student table has got all the 5 rows, so we will get all the 5 rows. Let's just do this practically so that you will understand better. So select star from students. Instead of inner join, I'll mention left join based on the courses table. On which column we would be applying based on the student ID column only. So I will be keeping this student table first, that is on the left side, and the courses table on the right. So if I run this query, so what do you think will happen when we execute this query? We will get all the 5 rows from the first table, that is the left table, that is student table. So let's run this and see. If I run this, so I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, this is the left hand side table and we have got all the rows. And for the right hand side, we have only got 3 rows which are common. So we can see these 3 common rows, and apart from that, we had nothing. So we're getting null values. The important thing to note here is that we have to be careful which table we want to put on the left side and which table we are putting on the right side, because based on this only the join will get applied. If you recollect, in case of inner join, it did not matter which table we are putting on the left and which one we are putting on the right. It did not matter in case of the inner join, but in this case it really matters, so be careful. The next join that we want to talk about is the right join. So what happens in case of right join? You think about it and tell me. Left table will be student table and right hand side will be keeping this courses table. Now what happens in case of right join is that all the values from the right table will get fetched and only the common ones from the left one will get fetched. What that means is we will be getting only 1, 2 and 3. 4 and 5 is not common, so it will not be there. So let us execute this query and then see what happens. So now let's talk about the query for right join. So what really happens is instead of left, I will mention right join, and apart from that nothing changes. We are keeping student table on the left side and the courses table on the right side. So let's just see what happens when we execute this query. So I run this query and as we can see we are getting only the rows which were there in the table which was there on the right side. So right side we have got courses table which had only 1, 2, 3. So we are getting 1, 2, 3. 4 and 5 is missing because it's a right join. So I hope the right join is clear to you. Now let us talk about the last join for today, that is full join or the full outer join. So what do you think will happen in case of full join? We will get all the rows from both the tables. Okay. So table 1 has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Table 2 has got 1, 2, 3. But full outer means we will get full values. That means all the rows will be reflected from both the tables. So let us execute the query for the full join. So instead of right, I'll just make this as full join. Apart from that, I will not change anything. And let's just run this query and see what happens. So I'll run this, and as we can see we have got all the rows from both the tables. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the left hand side table, that is the student table, and we have got 1, 2, 3 from the right hand side table. So as expected we have got the full values from both the tables. That's how the full join works. So in the end, how do we summarize when to use which join? So let's just say that if you want only the common rows from both the tables, then what will we do? You will use the inner join. Now let's just say that you want all the rows from the left tables, then you will use the left join. Or let's say you want all the rows from the right table. In that case, you use the right join. And if you want all the rows from both the tables, then you use the full join, which is also called as a full outer join. Mostly we use either inner join or the left join. Okay. So I hope that this will give you clarity with respect to the joins in SQL. I want you to practice this. Just watching these videos will not help. I'm sharing the query for creating these two tables. So you can get the query from the description of the video and practice the joins in SQL. Thank you so much.